anything I'd say would just be a guess at this point. They're still waiting to kind of get a plan together and how close people can be. And
as my eyes get worse, I get moved further back.
I feel like if we put Robert in Orange Crush, we might actually still have the home court advantage Orange Crush gives Illinois.
I feel like we need a schedule first before I have any questions for Kent on basketball.
that would be helpful. It'd be helpful for a lot of us. We know that our starting date's the 25th. So that week will be, without officially confirming anything, we're all planning that we would be very busy that week in Champaign on starting the 25th.
And Iowa's in the starting lineup, Kim.
I can neither confirm or deny that, Jeremy.
Yeah, Kent, what's the policy on cheering from the stands?
Yeah, there may not be one. Maybe they could probably hear you. There's no doubt.
The one guy clapping.
I think if Iowa's family gets let in, they may drown you out.
Yeah, good point.
Yes.
Ken, just out of curiosity, do you have to go through the antigen testing every day?
I
Being
am
in the building.
I am not. So Brett is being tested every day, but he's just doing the campus saliva test. So there's 170 antigen tests that can be on. That's a list, and that's the Big Ten supports and pays for those 170 tests. And so that's for the team. That's for staff. That's for staff who are on the field with the team, the equipment guys, the student managers. So it gets to 170 probably quicker than you would think. And so there are a lot of us who would not be part of that tier one group. We're kind of in the next group. Brett's getting tested every day. I'm getting tested every other day because I'm not with the guys like Brett is. So we do have some protocols that are probably a little bit more stringent than the regular faculty staff person, but coach and the others on the team are part of that 170 group.
Ken, do you know what's happening in basketball? Georgie said that he gets tested once every other day.
They started getting tested.
Underwood said every day.
No, they started being tested every day starting on Wednesday, starting yesterday.
Okay.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
All right, we're ready. Maybe talk a little bit about what you did today, and then we'll open up for questions.
What we did today, first off, we got tested early in the morning since there are some questions on testing. I've been tested so many times. We all have. You guys have done a good job just following protocol, taking care of business. Nothing is 100%, so things can still happen, but I like the way the guys have been handling this situation. We're getting close. It's almost close to game week, close to game time. We'll have our mock game tomorrow night. Big challenge ahead for us. Wisconsin, no one has run the football as well as Wisconsin has for a long period of time. And so we know what's know what we'll be facing. They're going to have a quarterback that started for the first time, but I'm sure, offense-wise, when you have a system, you plug the next guy in and you keep moving. And defensively, they played, of course, outstanding defense for a long period of time too. So we know the challenge ahead of us. Our guys are working, to meet that challenge. I'll take your question.
Hey, Lovie. Got a quick question about the defense and a couple of guys on the defensive unit, particularly Keith Randolph and Seth Coleman. Both of them played a little bit last year. You got to see what they were capable of. What have they looked like so far this year, and where do you see them falling in on the depth chart when that is released?
We've liked both of the players for a while, and that we saw signs last year. Keith Randolph first, bigger body. He'll play the 6 technique for us, which is, Norm there was a tight end. He's probably right now more of a run support player than a pass rusher. Great basketball player in high school. So we have an athletic big man there. Excited about his future here. Seth Coleman play our 5 technique, our open end. More speed, quickness. I think he came in on campus here about 200 pounds. He's about 230 now. So he's done a great job putting on good weight. Early on, he should probably help us more pass rushing. But like the potential of both of those guys, both will play for us.
Thank you.
Hey, Robert, you're up. Nico, you're in the hole.
Yeah, Coach, I think this is the last time we talk to you. That's a training camp press conference. The next week starts game week and everything else. So if we're calling this the close of training camp or near the end, what are your thoughts on the whole thing, progression over the last 3 weeks, and where you stand going into a game week?
Of course, I like our team. I've said that from the start. Nothing I've seen has really said otherwise. I mean, we've been building for this football team for a while. The guys have done everything we've asked them to do. It has been a different type training camp, but it seemed like we've been training for a long period of time. We've gotten an awful lot accomplished. I feel like we know where we need to play everybody. I mean, that's one of the things you want to get, kind of sorted out through training camp. So we're ready to take the next step. Now you really know, but it's not like we've done a lot of scrimmaging and those things. So for us, we want to take a healthy football team up to Madison, and we'll know a lot more about where we are after that. We're looking forward to that.
Can you name a few players kind of over the 3 weeks that maybe surprised you a little bit, stuck out? Maybe guys who've stepped up their game over the summer and are, progressing further than you thought?
Yeah, without playing a game, it's kind of hard, signaling a lot of people out. But offensively, Vertus Brown, I think he's done an outstanding job. He's come a long ways. Vertus, one of the most heavily recruited players we've had here. He's been behind the scenes for a while. We needed someone to step up at that position. So I really like what he's done. And on the defensive side of the football, I mean, there's a few guys, Rod Perry, you guys haven't seen Rod play, but Rod has been everything we wanted him to be. Our specialists have, they've been around here a while, so we know what we're getting there. But that's to name a few, but I could name quite a few guys that are, eager about this opportunity in front of them.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hey, Nico, you're up. Alec, on deck.
Hey, Lovie, you mentioned that you guys haven't done a lot of scrimmaging with a full scrimmage set for tomorrow. What are some things that you're kind of looking to see in that first scrimmage?
Yeah, no, we don't. We're not going to be. We won't be scrimmaging tomorrow. We have a mock game tomorrow. It's a week from game time right now. So, the first live, truly throwing guys down the field. The next time we do that will be, during the game. But we don't need to. We know what we need. What we need to see from the players. Feel like we've been able to do that. Now we'll just keep tightening up to get ready to play.
Has it been beneficial then bringing back a fairly experienced roster in the sense that you guys aren't doing a lot of, live game stuff that, those are some reps that would help, but it's not like they're going into that first weekend experience.
Yeah, but, live reps are kind of overrated to me. Not many people do a whole lot of live reps right now. So we've never done an awful lot of live reps, throwing people down to the ground during training camp. We did that an awful lot when I was playing. So this is kind of where we are. Again, I like what we've been able to see from the guys, and we're good to go.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, Alec, then Scott Beatty, Jeremy Werner in the hole.
Good morning, Coach. Thanks for doing this. I know you said earlier this week that you have started your Wisconsin prep. And this might be a little early for this question, I guess. But on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most prepared for Wisconsin, where would you kind of say your team's at right now?
Pretty hard. we're preparing for Wisconsin. We're making progress each day. Kind of simple as that. Not ready to go yet, but we have 8 more days to get ready. We're right on schedule to be ready when we go up to Madison.
And then going into Madison, what's your biggest concern? Does it reside around the COVID testing and just that all never experienced before?
No, we concentrate on what we can control. As far as COVID is concerned, I mentioned what we do each day. Test, we cover our mouth, we're practicing social distancing as much as we possibly can, wash our hands. So all that takes care of itself. Just normal first game things that you think about as much as anything. We've seen the guys, but you have to get to a game to really kind of see where you are. And that's where the excitement comes. Can't wait to play the first game to see exactly where we are.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Okay, Scott Beatty, Jeremy Warner on deck.
Lovie, kind of related to that, you said see where we are. Is there a biggest question or a couple of big questions for you that cannot be answered until game time comes? Is it how hard we hit, how we'll do with tackling technique, because there's not a lot of that ahead of time? Is it something else?
Guys, this is we've been around here a few years. I mean, we followed the same protocol. Most of you want us to tackle, every day and throw people down. You don't play like that anymore. And as far as things that I need to see, no, it's just your typical first game that you need to see. And there's no way for you to know until you get to the first game. I mean, I can tell you, hey, we're ready to go. Everybody is, but I think every coach would say you got to get to the first game as healthy as possible. We've done everything that I think you need to do before you actually play the football game. And this is the best position and the best feeling I've had going into a first game. So not more we can do besides that.
And are you sensing that same feeling from your players, that is
Absolutely.
confidence perhaps?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, Jeremy Werner, Joey Wagner on deck.
Morning, Lovie. I just wanted to ask you about Daniel Matsor-Bebe. Obviously, you're very familiar with his family. Was there anything unique about that recruitment? Because Josh said even you and Rod maybe even sold Josh, a little bit on Daniel coming here.
Well, first time, of course, we met Daniel was when, he came along on Josh's initial visit. And when you initially start talking with him, you buy into him right away. And that's how it happened back then. And when we had an opportunity to get him here, I mean, that was an easy decision. And if you just look at their family, you mentioned Josh, and if you met their mother, you would kind of know what you're getting to, the type of men you're getting, deep, just loyal, just so many things. So, I mean, when you love Josh, when you love one baby and you can get two, it don't get any better than that. I'll just say Daniel has been pretty impressive. We know what Josh can do. It definitely runs in the family. He's going to help us win a lot of games. He'll be a part of what we're going to do around here.
What's he had that's maybe different than some of the other tight ends you have in that group?
Well, I love the group, first off. DJ Barker has, we can split him out. He can inline block, catch the football. Luke Ford can inline block also. He can spread out. Both of those guys are probably more like a traditional tight end, inside. Daniel, his strong suit, may be a little bit outside. I mean, he has that type of ability. It's a good matchup in the slot a little bit. Put him all over the football field. So love all three tight ends. All three of them play for us.
Thank you, Lovie.
Well,
Okay, Joey, you're up.
Morning, Lovie. You talked about the testing when you came on. I think you said this begins at 6 a.m., but from start to finish, when are you guys usually done, and how quickly do those results get reported?
5:30 to be exact. But,
when is it about done?
Hours later.
I guess my other question.
We have a few guys that we have over 170 guys we go through, so we have quite a few to get, but it starts early. Jeremy Bush and our medical staff do a great job. Long before we started, Big Ten testing, we've been testing with our team for a long period of time. So that's why we feel pretty good about when we go out on the football field. But again, it's only, testing can only take you so far. We don't live in a bubble. And that's what I'm so proud of our players right now when they leave here. We know when they get here how they are, but I just like what they've been doing after they leave the building. When guys play football, you do what you need to do to, get to the field.
And then I wanted to ask you about Jakari Norwood. He's been a guy who's been in your system for a little bit, and we've seen some photos of him. And what's his progression been like, and what are you maybe looking for out of him this year?
Well, he's had all these guys we're talking about. They've been around here a long period of time. So yes, Jakari I think even came in early as an early guy too. But we have seen him, of course, build his body up. Get stronger, faster, all of that. But now he's a guy that's been in the system for a while. He knows what he's doing. One of the upperclassmen, you could say. He has, position flexibility too. Catch the ball, even though he hadn't caught it an awful lot. It's excellent speed. He'll be one of our running backs. We have some running backs that we like. Of course, Mike Epstein, Chase Brown. But Jakari will have a role for us also.
Thanks, Lovie.
Okay, we got time for Scott Ritchie and Matt Stevens to wrap up. Go ahead, Scott.
Lovie, I guess is sort of a follow-up to Joey's question about Jakari, but with guys like him that maybe redshirted, this is their third year, what was important maybe during that redshirt year for them, maybe last year when they weren't getting maybe a lot of reps but still learning, just to maybe be in a place now where you're maybe counting on them to be a bigger role?
I think all guys need to go through that too. When you come here, most guys don't play right away. We had a need early where a lot of players played earlier than maybe they should have, or, in an ideal situation. But I think you should go through the process of being on the scout team. I mentioned earlier, living in the weight room and just getting the system down, figuring out your role, and then just starting to work from there. So it's a progression you have to go through. As I mentioned, Jakari has, and there's been flashes we've seen. Again, he's another one of those guys. Want to see him take this next step, which we believe he'll do.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll wrap up with Matt Stevens.
Lovie, I know you've said in the past that you prepare for a system when you play a team like Wisconsin, and the quarterback almost becomes irrelevant. But are there opportunities for you as a defensive play caller and as somebody who's trying to get a defense ready against an inexperienced quarterback that you feel like you can exploit a little bit more than a guy that's maybe played a lot more ball?
Yeah, I wouldn't say the quarterback is irrelevant in any system.
Okay.
Well, definitely this one. But I'm just going on. Wisconsin's system isn't I don't think Paul goes in and say, hey, we got to throw the ball for 400 yards or we're not going to have success. The system on how it's, built to run the run, based around on the run first. I think it's easier for a young quarterback to come into this system without putting all on him. They're not going to be in a gun, spread, set, throwing the ball all over the place. That's what makes it a lot easier for him. And as far as me making calls, he's a good football player. Every veteran player that you see was once young. And most of the guys, when they're really good, they play well right away. So it'll be a big challenge for us. And we haven't seen him an awful lot, so that's an advantage for him also. But and again, about 8 days or so, we'll see.
My other question is, with the news that's come out last night about Nick Saban at Alabama, I was curious as to what your level of succession plan is if you have to step away. Is it Rod? And if it is Rod, who would you feel comfortable calling the defense if that's the case?
We have a succession plan. No need in going over all that. We have a plan for everything that could possibly happen.
Okay.
We have a succession plan for every coach that will possibly miss. If I'm missing, all of that. If can't make it, we have a succession plan for that. No need to going over all of that. But we do have a plan for everything. 3rd and 3, we have a plan for that too. 1st and 10, do I need to keep going?
No, sir.
What is keep a game plan to us right now?
Thank you, Lovie.
You're welcome.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time today.
Take care.
Next one is on Monday for you, so we'll talk to you then.
See y'all then. Take care.